I see that we have very little takers. You put them in a spin for Khan. Let me
Okay.
see if I get it understand your question. You're saying which type of rubric is the best approach, and you're talking about uh, that for a presentation and the traits that you have listed, which would be the best approach to a rubric, right? So
Yes.
if I may add, and I'll just give a starter. So for a presentation with all those multiple traits, it's more like an analytical rubric in my mind. Am I right?
Yes, up to some extent. Yes.
Exactly. It could be developmental as well, but and it could actually you could if you
Yes.
want all those traits, then you're actually looking. Could it be holistic? It could be, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you could in one
Yes.
rubric actually specify these values that the content will be so much, there'll be no collaboration, there'll be
Yes.
minimal organization. So you actually can make one sort of rubric, which actually one value that carries all these together. Like, recently I was seeing a rubric for proposals, and it said it covers no points about DI, it covers no points about SEL, and that was the minimal scale, right? And so as
Yes.
they went out, 2-3 points for this and 2-3 points that did for that, and then it became a media. So I think that's what you're trying to say is irrespective of the rubric type that you use, it's how you craft it.
Actually,
That's important.
the selection of rubric type, it depends upon the strength of the class, or it depends upon the time constraint as well. So these
Okay.
factors, or maybe some other factor, will affect the selection of the rubric style.
Okay. So you were saying that it's not just the traits that you have to measure that you would
Yes.
like to, make a rubric. There are many other factors. Could you sort of elaborate on the other factors that you said about the class size? What else would
Yes.
be important in considering? Because that would take a lot of work trying to go through an analytical rubric with like a
Yes.
class
For
of 40
example,
students. You'd go crazy.
yes,
Yeah,
it's very difficult. So
yeah.
let's take an example of a class participation. If you need to measure the active listening, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking,
Mm,
so you don't have time to evaluate every single student on
mm,
an analytical or
yeah,
a developmental tool.
yeah.
So what you do at the end of class, you evaluate the person who spoke very well and contributed as per the
Mm,
requirement. You give marks
mhm.
out of 3, out of 5, it depends, but it will be an holistic approach. But rest of the assessment technique like presentation, case study, and viva, these can be
Mm,
combination of all three rubrics very
mm.
easily, very effectively, and it will help us to measure the performance in a best possible way. It will reduce the conflict between faculty and student, between two different students on a different grading. So it will ultimately benefit the faculty member and overall improve the overall learning.
So
I'll
please
give
say
you
that
the
again
example.
about the Viva. I did not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yes.
you said that Viva, yeah, please
I can't
say
hear you, ma'am, properly.
about the
Can you?
Viva. Yeah,
Why?
I
Not
said, could you repeat what you said?
actually with reference to
Could you
Viva.
repeat what you
Viva
said
is a
about the?
yes.
Yeah.
Viva is an activity which is could be one to one, right? So in Viva we can combine the holistic, analytical, and development tools together. I'll give you the detailed example in the next slide how we are going
Okay.
to combine all three rubrics together to get the maximum benefit out of it.
Okay.
Okay, so there are some participants talk about that they are holistic, analytical. So wait for the next question. I hope you can further enhance the question quality. Okay, next is okay. Is it possible to measure the performance of a student using all three rubrics together? Can we? Yes, we talk about the class participation. We talk about the presentation, Viva, and the other activities that we can combine all these three rubrics together. How that is possible? Okay. Hmm. Can you see?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now you can, on the left side of the scale, there is a trait explaining the content, collaboration, and the organization. These are the analytical rubric, right? And this part, the overall assessment, is the holistic rubric explaining the overall assessment of the group presentation. And the description explaining the level of the competency and the trait is the developmental rubric, explaining the each competency of that particular group or a student. So here we combine all three rubrics together, the analytical, developmental, and the overall holistic rubric. So if a student achieve a 5 marks in the content and 5 marks in the collaboration and the 7 marks in the organization of its presentation, the total is 20. Total is 17 out of 21, which is 80% of the performance. So uh, when we convert into an overall performance, it will show the overall assessment of the student is the excellent in the grading. So that's how we combined all three rubrics together. So it will benefit the assessment technique and the students' opinion about the improvement and the comparison between different groups and students.
Hmm.
So, so then we move to the back, move to the previous question. You can see the presentation and the case study. We can combine all these three rubrics together to effectively measure these three activities.
Hmm.
But with reference to class participation, yes, we can only use the holistic rubric.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, now let's move to the Microsoft Excel part and how we can use this to measure the student performance. Let me share the screen. Can you see the Excel file?
Yeah. No, not the Excel file yet. Just the measurement through Excel. So you will have to share your file.
Okay.
Yes,
There
now
we
it's
go.
visible.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the first part of the sheet, you can enter the basic detail about the student name and the group details. And then we start with the presentation. And first we'll discuss about the rubric guide. Eh, The first tab, the continue with the examples. Let me share. Okay, so here is the left side with the complete analytical rubric explaining the each part of the student performance, and these are the overall assessment about the student, and these are the developmental rubric. On the measurement sheet, you can enter, for example, a student one score 5 out of 7 in the content and 3 in collaboration and 4 in organization. It will evaluate the performance of the student based on the criteria given in the rubric guide and give him a complete overall assessment about the overall presentation based on these specific criteria. So that's how we use all three rubrics in a one to measure the one single assessment technique. The second example could be related to the class participation. You can see here we measure class participation based on classes. For example, we conducted 3 classes, and each class we gave 4 marks to class participation. Student 1 score 4 out of 4 in first 2 classes and 0 out of 4. And the holistic rubric evaluate the performance of the student and give it 6.5 out of 10. 10 means the conversion of the marks. The total would be is total 12, but our weightage of the class participation is, let's suppose, 10 of the total marks. So it will convert these marks out of 10 and give it the overall assessment. And the student number 3 got 3.5 marks, 4 and 3 in the class participation, and it will got 8.8 and got the excellent overall assessment. This shows the overall assessment of the group of the class in the graphical representation. And in the same way, we can measure the Viva rubric, we can measure the quiz assignments so that the consistency of the assessment is maintained and the fairness is maintained in the best possible way.
Okay. Furkan, at some point, I was also wondering if the Excel sheet that you use, can it be used in the Moodle gradebook or another format of assessment in Moodle? I don't know much, but that's the point I would like to know. If anybody knows in the audience that yes, you can do the same in the Moodle, in the Moodle MS, which would be nice to know if it is possible.
In fact, not Excel, but I'm sure they have the development tool where we can develop such format in the Moodle, and we can implement that. And we build a consensus on the rubric for whole university for measuring the, let's suppose, presentation and a Viva. So we can build a consensus and upload that complete format into the Moodle as well. But we need some development expertise.
Yeah, but why can't a faculty do its own individual for its own course? Because that's what all of you are doing anyway right now. For your own Moodle courses, could you not just do it for you like you are doing now through MS Excel? That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they can. It depends upon how leverage that software provides us. I mean, is that a software we can easily mold, we can easily create our own rubric, then why not? Yes, we can. Just like a Google Classroom, we build our own rubric in Google Classroom.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure there is an option in Moodle, and we will have to explore that. Gohar, आप इसको please as a question लिख लें. We'll ask the Moodle administration if that's possible. Okay, Furkan, let's move on.
Sure, ma'am.
This is very interesting. And this Excel sheet that you make is automatically sort of, you have given it's the score. So at the formula, at the back end, you must have worked with a certain formula so that it automatically calculates everything, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And so people it's available with the group.
Okay, so if people who know how to make Excel sheets would know how to work with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So moving to the last part, as the impact of AI on assessment techniques, the increased use of AI by students, especially after the launch of ChatGPT, is having a significant impact on the assessment techniques such as rubrics. And there are concerns around the issue of biases and fairness that need to be addressed. As AI continues to evolve, the teacher needs to be carefully consider the benefit and the drawbacks of these tools to develop the fair and unbiased assessment techniques and the rubrics. So here you can see the impact of AI on the commonly used assessment techniques, and the impact will be extremely high because student can manipulate, student can misuse the assignment and case studies and easily get the result and the desired result from the ChatGPT. So let's give you an example. Okay, this example is from the subject of a performance management. And I asked them to solve this case study. So it's a case study of around 150 words and, sorry, 500 words. And the question is given with the case study. And if we enter the case study with the question, it will answer in a good manner. Oh, let me refresh it. Okay.
You lost your question and the case study, right? Or
No, got it.
Yeah,
so based on his understanding about the topic, about the case study, he's trying to give the best answer he can come up with. But again, this question is not as per all the topic that I taught in my class. So what I need to do, I need to alter this question in a way that he will give the answer as per the techniques, method I taught in the class related to the performance management subject. So what I do, I slightly alter the question. I will show you how. Here you can see I asked the ChatGPT to answer the question with reference to all the method of performance management that I taught in my class, and explain with the example based on the case study. Case study is about a hotel, so it will answer each method with the example of the case study in a tabular structure. So let me copy that.
I don't know how many of our faculty present now have used ChatGPT for this sort of work. We will do a small quiz to find out how many have used it. Me, I can see that. Yes, Ata, that's okay. Double me is okay too. Also, Sumaira has done it. Good. So you've got the answer that you wanted, right?
Yes.
It is giving it in a tabular form by everything that you have taught. Oh, wow. So how do you know a student has not used ChatGPT? That's the question. So how would you assess such an assignment?
So it will be a next presentation, because the combination of assessment technique could answer this. And we cannot move back to the traditional method of teaching, like just giving them a paper to write down in the class in front of a teacher. We have to give case study. We have to engage them to answer critical questions, develop a project. ChatGPT is going to do everything for them. How teacher can do that is the best combination of the assessment technique. Like with project, you add Viva. With class, with the case study, you ask them to present in a class question by question. So it depends how we are going to manage
so
that.
It is something to open book exams that they are writing their answers. So you have to put up a multiple modalities of assessments to get to know, to assess them in a 360-degree sort of a performance from multiple angles, so that you know if, and you would exactly get to know that the writing is not in sync with the Viva, or writing is, or you could also do a project which is something that not within the purview of ChatGPT, I think. Something that is very typical in your environment. Would you be able to get answers to that either? Suppose I said, I have a questionnaire, opinion of my family, opinion about, for example, marriage rituals or something like that. And I do a survey and I try to sort of give a analysis. So would I have to put very good prompts into ChatGPT to get the answer even then?
Yes, you have to give a detailed prompt. For example, this next question is about the Allied Bank, Pakistan.
Okay.
So if you give a detailed instruction about the Allied Bank, that how many branches they have, or what type of question you are asking with all the parameters, then it will definitely give you a very exact answer.
Oh, wow.
So which means if your prompt, your instruction is good, then definitely it will give you the very good answer.
Oh, wow.
So the problem is the some educators are still of the view that we should not we should go back to the traditional assessment techniques and the rubric to eliminate the biases and the unfairness. But we will appropriate in this era, which is not appropriate in this era. Will it limit the ability of the student? I mean, it's better to engage them to get the basic understanding from the ChatGPT and develop their own critical thinking on the ChatGPT. AI technology will be artificial and it always require a critical thinking. So critical thinking is the core strength of a faculty, of a or a student. So our all assessment techniques should focus on the critical side of their knowledge rather than just reproducing it.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point. And also ChatGPT will never be able to do a reflection and metacognition on a certain experience or a certain project or a certain whatever thing that you have done as a part of your assessment. You could like a reflective journal or something. That would be worth a try. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in time, ChatGPT starts taking on more roles as it becomes more refined. Sumaira Loti, would you like to say, unmute and say what you have said? Sumaira has a comment.
The
Ji, Sumaira,
participants can unmute themselves.
you can unmute if you want to. You said something about students' use of AI and what makes it different for you. I don't see she is responding. So anyway, Ji, over to you, Furqan. I just thought if Ji.
Okay, so there's another update on ChatGPT that there is going to be a very new technology coming related to debating. The ChatGPT is going to assess your personality, assess your expression, your behavior very effectively, that he will start communicating without giving any question to him. For example, I'm driving back home and the ChatGPT assess my personality based on, for example, they have a cam in the device, just like Alexa or Siri. So he will assess my facial expression and tell me, are you feeling okay today? Is there everything all right? So he start questioning me. This type of technology is about to launch very soon. They are testing right now the debating part, and the Khan Academy already implementing that in their technology, in their courses, that rather than going for a teacher, they introduce a debating tool for a student with sorry, where they can ask any question and clear any kind of doubts. So that's the future. So I just leave this topic open for everybody to search, to explore, and come up with some best possible solution. So that's all from my side.
Okay.
And
I think it's very interesting, Gohar. If you keep on the last slide, Furqan, I don't know how different this is to what you're saying. I have been through some virtual courses which actually give you multiple pathways to, for your course to take. For example, after a certain part of the course, the online course will ask me a quiz. And if I am able to answer it at a certain level of competence, it takes me to a totally different course. If I say, give an answer which shows that I have yet to develop competence of a couple of things that were taught, it will take me through a different course that actually deals with the deficiencies that I report in my assessment and so on. Is there something similar you're talking about, Furqan? Because I've done, those are individualized pathways for according to the individuals and their learning levels.
yes, yes, it's a very basic, but again, just imagine it will, rather than typing or selecting any option, it will question you. It will understand your accent. It will understand your tone, your expression.
Oh my God, that's scary.
So, and
So
Khan
it
Academy
will
is
know
going
that
to
I am
launch probably
agitated
by
and
the
I
end
am,
of this
yeah.
year.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to really turn your world upside down. And you are going to either be able to get a grasp on it or not. I have been reading that some universities have actually blocked the use of browsers that would allow ChatGPT because they think they are yet not ready to deal with it. So, and there is a call. I was a part of a group, international group, and they had said that we would like to start, a motion to stall the development or stall this at where it is so that we can catch up with it. And so there are multiple, and there are some people who are saying, let's flow with it. And so it is going to upset our system for the initial period till we get a grip on it. Any other comments from the participants? We have still some time to go. Aisha wants a session on Excel, how to make Excel sheets and use them for rubrics. I would rather explore something in Moodle if we have something similar in Moodle and work with that. Furqan, please look into that, how we can keep it to Moodle.
Yes, sure.
Excel sheet rather than go into an Excel sheet. That is for starters. But let's explore if we can have it on Moodle and encourage that. Anything else that you'd like to say? Nice session, Rizwan. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruxana, and giving me the opportunity to present, and Mr.
Yeah.
Gohar for arranging the session.
Yeah, we are very happy to have you, and you picked up some important points that we should be talking about. But we really need to have a more in-depth discourse on some of the things. I mean, as long as the rubrics and the Excel sheet and the calculations were concerned, that was fine. And how you can put lots of variables or indicators together for evidence of assessment. But I think the AI leaves lots of point. Go ahead with the polling, Gohar. We have maximum people now, faculty with us. Faiza Jamil, that's a beautiful picture. Oh, okay. Would you like another in-person hands-on session on advanced rubrics? Oh my God, so many of you are interested in an in-person session, and I think that will be better because then you'll be able to practice, right? Good to know. So please take time to answer these questions as we move along. We are getting, which is better? That's a good question. Who is asking that? Rubab. Rubab, like he said, there are multiple factors which would help you consider. I wouldn't dare do an analytical rubric with a class of 30, but you could sort of decide what is easier on your time and so on. So I think those are things that you should consider. Very few people have answered. Only 20 of you have want in-person session out of 54 that are present right now. Move on to the next question, Gohar. Only 27 have answered, which is sad. G, Gohar? Level of satisfaction?
I've launched it, ma'am.
Beta, what about the question on use of ChatGPT? Remember, we had also a question on, we don't have a question on usage of ChatGPT.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So that's it. We have, I'm very surprised. Is there a reason most of you do not respond to the polling? Please do tell us in the chat if there's a reason. Aisha Junaid wants a basic session on what? ChatGPT, we already had one session, Aisha Junaid. We do have to have another one for strategies in the classroom in May. There'll be another. No, we did a basic session on rubrics this year, and this was the one on advanced rubric. Polling not showing. I'm very surprised, Gohar. Many people think polling doesn't show on their screen. Is there a reason? Furkan, can you think of a reason why polling doesn't show on their screen?
Probably their version is old.
Yeah, I'm currently
Version is
using
old.
2 laptops and I have polling on both.
No, but please find out why does it didn't show on everybody's. Then send them a link. I think the best thing is to send them a link.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, we did do a basic rubric session, and in our write-up for the advanced rubric, you're right, we did say, Kuratulan, that we would prefer people, faculty who have done the basic rubrics. You get, everybody has said we have learned something new, Furkan, so that's a big hurrah for you. And 83% are satisfied, which is not bad. 71% have participated. So that was good to go. I have stopped the polling and you can see the results, and I'll stop the sharing and we are good to go. G. So there are some 4 chats. It's just a good session. Sylvia, I'm happy you like it. Good session, Aisha Junaid. Polling done. Yes, done. Thank you. Yes, Kuratulan, we had one session with Dr. Trimble about ChatGPT. We'll have another one in May, something similar. and we have had the basics. So thank you so much. Please do write to us if you would like something more. And if there are some more questions or some more sessions you would like us to do, we're very happy to proceed with ChatGPT and work with it. We are all learning. I mean, look forward to your, if any of you would like to be a panelist and share how you use ChatGPT, we are very happy to hear from you, and we can use you for the May session. So please do let us know. Send us an email if you're interested. Need basics. Rizwan, we offered that session, I think, 2 months ago. So do take our emails seriously. I've heard that many people see the emails. Of course, you get a lot of them, and then you store them away or delete them without seeing. So unfortunately, you miss out on great opportunities. So we will offer it now next year, but not this year anymore. Gee, thank you, Sarisa. It's quite possible. 1 to 2 is free for everybody, Mondays and Wednesdays. So those are the days, Rizwan, when we put up our sessions, because the timetable at that time for undergraduates is free. Okay, dears, thank you so much. An immense thanks, Furkan. It was a very informative
Thank you,
topic,
ma'am.
very well
Jazakallah.
conducted. Thank you so much. Okay, dears, bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, bye. Yes, Sylvia, nice to see you. Lovely to see you. So I wouldn't mind seeing some more live faces. People are very camera shy, huh? What is it? It's just the start. Maida, you have got all those laboratory equipment up there as your profile picture, which is interesting. So we'll say goodbye right now to all of you. No makeup, so camera off. Yeah, that's right. It's a big feat. Men don't need makeup. So I guess they should be visible. Okay, dears. Bye-bye.